And the best comment from all of these is, he still looks like a toothpick. Hey everyone, Camber here, and a couple weeks ago I put out a video showing how much muscle I gained over the past year with the help of Greg Doucette's cookbook and training book. And then a couple days later, I woke up and looked at my phone and saw that I had a bunch of Facebook and Instagram notifications, and I found out that Greg had watched and commented on the video and also shared it on his Instagram and Facebook. So the video was getting tons of views, and I was looking at his post, and there's a lot of funny comments in there, so I thought it might be funny to go through and reply to some of these, not reply, but comment on some of these comments. So here's the post. Greg said, "Does Maingaining really work? Do you need proof? Here it is. Awesome video by @CamberFitness. Go check out his video. Swipe up in the story. Buy his cookbook. Link in the bio. All that. Cool. Totally believe in Maingaining, but if he was at maintenance, he wouldn't have gained 20 pounds in a year. Natty or not doesn't matter per se. Likely not, but he definitely was eating above maintenance. This is more of a slight surplus." Cool. Someone thinks I was not natty. But yeah, you do need a slight surplus. However, you're talking like 25 to 30 calories different maintenance per pound of muscle added. So if you can really calculate that exactly, I mean, you're talking like 4 or 5 almonds to do the difference in that. And most people don't even know how to track stuff right, between lying food labels, between people not measuring stuff right, different size measuring cups depending on where you live, all kinds of factors. I mean, you can't be that accurate. You're probably off at least 100 to 200 calories a day, plus your total daily energy expenditure changes from day to day. No one does the exact same thing every single day, so it is literally impossible to track exactly this much. I've seen people in groups come in and say, so I'm eating approximately 2,367 calories per day, and I'm thinking, approximately that much? That's a pretty precise number for approximate, and if you actually think you're getting exactly that, then that's pretty impressive. But we're talking about a ballpark estimate. So if I'm eating around 2,500 calories a day, or 2,200 at the start of this, I said, then a few months later, I gained 3 pounds of muscle. Well, now, really, that's only an extra 100 calories about you need to maintain that muscle. So you add 100 calories, but you can't accurately track that. One day I might have 3,000 calories, one day I might have 2,000 calories. There's no telling. So it's an average, a range you're shooting for. The actual word maingain is stupid then. Any form of surplus in theory is a bulk. I understand he says you don't need to get fat, but you can't eat at maintenance and gain weight. This is what we're talking about. You're talking an extra 25 to 30 calories above maintenance to gain muscle without gaining fat. If you can be that precise, that's pretty impressive. But most people, even a lean bulk, you're looking at 200 to 300 calories extra a day. And if you do that, you are going to be adding fat. So you're basically saying you're eating at maintenance because you're eating around that maintenance number that you have and not purposefully going over that to try to gain more muscle. You will put on weight quicker, but it's not going to be the muscle that you think. And then you'll wonder why you look soft. Your muscles don't look big, and then you decide to go on a cut and you do crazy cut because you want to lose it fast, and then you lose all the fat and some muscle and think, oh, all my muscle's gone, I should have stayed bulked, but you really didn't gain that much muscle as you thought. You don't need to be in a calorie surplus to gain muscle. That is true. You can gain muscle while losing fat. So that just goes to show you can gain muscle. And typically what I did through this process was I started at 2,200, around 165 pounds, and worked up to around 175 pounds. And every few months I'd add 100 calories. That's why it's good to take measurements, to take pictures every few months so you can see back-to-back compare, because I didn't think my legs looked much different. You see yourself every day in the mirror and don't realize those little changes, but then you look at a year difference and I was like, whoa, my legs are actually quite a bit larger than they used to be. So that's one way that you can gauge what you need to do based on food and how your training is working and all that. Make sure you're tracking everything as far as weight, pictures, measurements, all that kind of stuff. If your weight's staying around the same, but my muscles have increased like a 1/4 inch or something like that, or I'm looking leaner, so that means I've lost some fat, probably gained some muscle, I'm gonna bump up the calories a little bit, 100 calories a day. Even like I said, that's hard to track, but I'm just going a little bit above what I've been doing for the past few months, and then see how my body reacts. Everyone gets afraid of like, oh, I can't add calories, I can't cut too much, and think that they have everything dialed in exact, but it's not like most of the people watching this stuff are not doing a bodybuilding show. They're not prepping for anything. It's just thinking, I want to optimize the best I can to gain the most muscle possible. So it's not an exact science, it's ballpark numbers. So Greg said, well, what do you want me to call it? Maintain body fat while eating enough protein to build muscle very slowly throughout the year? That's too long of a word. In fact, it's an entire sentence. 20-pound weight gain in a year is a bulk, bro. Traditionally, eating a slight surplus to optimize muscle gain and minimize fat gain is called a lean bulk. But call it Maingaining if you want, since that's what Greg calls it. But this just goes to show how many people didn't actually watch the video when they say 20 pounds weight gain in a year. I go on to say that it wasn't all muscle if you watch that in the video, and break down exactly how much was muscle, fat, water, food, all kinds of stuff based on how people manipulate scales and all that. If Greg responds to the comment, I'll buy the cookbook, he wrote, really? Well, that was easy. He did not maingain. This is literally what a lean bulk is. There are 65 replies, wow. Greg replied with a hand in the face emoji. Can't wait to see a full video just purely based off this comment. Greg, I remember you saying that 20 pounds in a year is difficult, near impossible. This guy looks great. Will you do a video on it? And he goes to say, it's almost impossible to do naturally. That's why he described in the video exactly how much of the 20 pounds was pure muscle and how much was water weight. Greg even said, hey, go watch the video. It's really good. But people still don't watch it. They just see the picture and be like, oh, that's not real. That can't happen. I might be wrong, but his video is about your peak week diet and not your cookbook. I watched this video about a week ago for research purposes. Yeah, about a week, 2 weeks prior to that, I did make another video on trying out Greg's peak week for this photo shoot that I did to compare my physique from one year to the next. So you gotta make sure you're watching the right video. Someone else, I wouldn't Maingain, it's not optimal at all. In fact, bulking, you have way more energy and strength so you can lift more weight and put more muscle. Don't believe them when they say you'll burn it off and lose it on a cut. You won't, so just bulk, bud. Yeah, that's true if you don't mind looking fat. I mean, sorry, I'm not saying it's true. Most people will lose it because they try to cut the fat off really fast and end up losing muscle. They don't go on a 6-month cut where you're doing 300 to 500 calories a day, which is ideal. I mean, if you're bulking on 500 calories a day, then you shouldn't cut by more than that on the way back down, or else you'll probably be losing stuff. But I like to look a consistent way and not get all bloated and puffy and fatter looking and then have to work that off, because I don't like cutting and I have plenty of energy. That's the thing. If you're eating at maintenance or just slightly above the 30 calories that you think you can track, you should have enough energy. And if you don't, then you're probably not eating enough. And I said in the video, I had plenty of energy to train all year long. So it's not like when I was cutting the 3 months leading up to my before pictures and felt terrible and all my lifts were going down. Also, the macro composition of your diet counts too. To an extent, you need protein to build muscle, but it's not like you have to have a certain percentage of carbs and fats. Another person, exactly. I don't see how he promotes it, yet this guy gained weight. Like, I don't get it. Maingaining doesn't mean you don't gain weight. It's Maingaining. Maintain body fat percentage, gain muscle, right? So if you gain muscle, muscle weighs a certain amount of weight, and your maintenance calories increase. It doesn't mean I'm in a calorie surplus per se, but I gain some muscle, then I increase my calories some. I'm at a new higher maintenance level, because every 10 pounds of muscle is around 300 calories extra that your body's going to burn a day. So every 1 pound of muscle is around 30. So you're slowly increasing your maintenance calories amount. It's not, I'm putting my calories up a lot higher and then I'm going to gain weight until I stop gaining weight based on what I'm eating. I gain a little bit of muscle, I bump up the calories a little bit. New maintenance, new maintenance, new maintenance, Maingaining. Maintenance calories here for my body fat percentage. I gain a little bit of muscle. I'm gonna add some more calories now because I'm a little bit heavier. I'm gonna add a little bit more. And it's just a balancing act. It's not like an exact science, like on this day of the month, I'm gonna add this many calories. You just look in the mirror, like y'all get way too focused on exact numbers when it's ballpark estimates for this stuff. This guy said, Greg, doesn't Maingain mean gaining strength and muscle while maintaining body weight? No, it's not maintaining body weight, it's body fat percentage. So that's where the recomp thing comes into play, where let's say you're at 20% body fat and you are 200 pounds. So you start working out hard for a year, you're maintaining your body weight eating at maintenance. Let's say you lose 10 pounds of fat, so then 10 pounds would be 5%. So now you're down at 15% body fat and you've gained 10 pounds of muscle. So you're basically recomping at that body weight. But now that you're at that 15% area you want to be, you would Maingain from there, where you maintain that 50% 15%, and then you maintain that body fat percentage and gain muscle slowly, which doesn't take as many calories as you think. But people like to eat a lot, so they think, oh, I'm just gonna bulk because that's what I need to gain muscle, but really I just wanna eat pizza and a bunch of junk food. And the concept of the word bulk, everyone's thinking of purposely adding calories, where we're not doing that here. We are just shooting around our maintenance calories and increasing that a little bit when needed. What do you need to gain muscle? You need water, you need energy, you need protein. You can get that energy from fat, and so if you lose a little bit of fat, then you bump up the calories a tiny bit, like we said, you might gain a little bit of fat back, and then you're at a new higher maintenance, but still look the same body fat percentage. And you're giving your muscles a hard enough stimulus in the gym to grow. But people have no problem thinking, oh, I can gain muscle in a deficit. But when it comes to maintenance, people think you can't gain muscle. But if you think about muscle is a lot smaller for a pound than fat would be. It takes a lot more fat to equal a pound. So let's say I put on a pound of muscle and I used half a pound of fat to do that. Well, now I weigh half a pound more, but I have a little bit less fat, and when you bump up your calories some, you might gain some of that fat back. So it's kind of just a back and forth balancing act, slowly moving up, and that's why it's important to track yourself in the mirror, measurements, all that kind of stuff. Lean bulk, yeah, pretty much. I'd bet he was on a 100, 200 calorie surplus on most days. There's no telling, maybe I was, but as I said, it's a ballpark estimate for your maintenance calories. So one day might be 3,000, one might be 2,000, depending on how hungry I am, what I'm doing, where I'm eating. I'm not eating the exact same meals every single day, measuring everything out exactly, because I'm not on prep to do anything. And even when you're doing that, you can watch bodybuilders full day of eating stuff. They're getting their calories wrong all the time with how they're measuring things. So even the pros don't always get it right. How is it Maingaining when his weight went up by 20 pounds? I think we covered that. Leg gains, fire, thanks. Probably bulked and cut. I actually answered that one with a laughing face, because if you watch the video, you would know exactly how it happened. But no, I didn't bulk and cut. I'm not into that. As much as I would like to eat pizza every day, actually I wouldn't, because I just don't feel good when I eat that kind of stuff anymore. I like to eat healthier things most of the time. Even if I have a bunch of ice cream or brownies and stuff, I'm usually kind of blah feeling for a while and regret it later. Not because I think it's making me look fat or anything, but I literally just don't feel as good as when I'm eating a lot more vegetables and fruit. Like, how much fruit do you think I eat a day now? Probably at least like a case worth of blueberries or strawberries or blackberries or something. But I would rather have fruit most of the time as a dessert. Here's a good one. I believe most of them, but this dude is literally not flexing on the left, but is on the right. Laugh my butt off. I wrote, thanks. But I said, I can see what you mean, and that wasn't intentional. I also never really posed before. When doing the before pics, I've learned a lot and been practicing posing over the last year as well. Yeah, I can see that. Makes sense. Physique still looks awesome either way. So thanks. But yeah, I mean, that's what usually, I made a video on this too about fake body transformations with sticking your stomach out, making yourself looking as unflattering as possible. And then the second one, sucking everything in, making it really tight, getting good lighting, and it can make a huge difference in just one day. But that wasn't the case in this. For one, I never worked out my legs, so I didn't really think about flexing them either, and wasn't doing it properly. And the second one, I learned how to do it better. So part of the controversy of YouTube is getting people to click and making semi-clickbaity thumbnails, and I guess it worked with this one because people automatically assumed that it was 20 pounds of pure muscle over a year, which it was not. I use that as an example to show people how the fitness industry tricks you, how you manipulate the scale, and also how much you can realistically expect to gain. So, hope that was helpful. It's kind of fun just seeing all that stuff and seeing, you know, a post get shared by Greg, by someone who doesn't have that many subscribers, but have lots of videos where I teach you guys how to make good food choices when you're out on the road, because I travel a lot, different training techniques, I do live videos, all kinds of great stuff. Camber Fitness Instagram, obviously, I'm on there. We've been looking at that all day. But let me know what kind of stuff you want to see, what you thought of this, what you think of Maingaining, and if you think that it was natural, which I think it is. I mean, I'm not huge or anything like that, but you don't have to be huge to be unnatural. Greg talks about that all the time. But one of my goals is to be as healthy as possible, and so I don't really have a reason to do that because it's not going to help me towards that goal. But I will see you guys in the next video.